Good morning, everyone. I hope you're ready for a very exciting 2 hours. Today we'll be speaking about attracting new clients, and we'll be having a lot of presenters that will assist you with every step of the way in attracting those new clients that's going to grow your business. Okay, a little bit about myself. I'm Monia van Sail. I've got 14 years corporate experience. I've been running my own practice for 5 years, and I'm actually good at fixing problems, and I do love a great challenge. So there's my link. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. So for today, we're going to look at attracting new clients. So what we'll be covering today is creating your ideal customer avatar, the value proposition, messaging and killer offer, the sales process that you should follow to get this, and then building an online presence that gets you clients. And we'll also be focusing on email marketing and how to use artificial intelligence to enable you to attract new clients. And then we'll also be looking at how you can use LinkedIn lead generation to attract new clients for your professional services. So in this webinar, we will be covering how to use podcasting as a source of material for content marketing and creating a brand that speaks to your ideal client, and then networking and referrals, how you can use that to your advantage. So we've got quite a couple of experts today on the panel that will be discussing all of their expertise here and how they can assist each of us in growing our practices and businesses. So the learning outcomes for today would be to understand the sales funnel components, understanding how to use AI and LinkedIn to attract those new clients, and then the value of podcasting to your business, and then how to create a brand that talks to your clients, and then to use networking and referrals to your best advantage. So I hope you guys have got notebooks. You're going to get a lot of tips today. Session. I'll be introducing the first presenter that will be speaking. She's very creative. So I'll be introducing Megan Years. She's technically trained and creatively inspired. She's the founder of Paradox Rocks. So she's good at communicating, and her unique skill set and experience is to support entrepreneurs in various aspects of communications, marketing, and creativity. As you all know, there's a saying that goes around that accountants aren't marketers. So you've got Meg on your side today, and she's going to teach you all these tricks. And later on in the next couple of months, there'll be a couple of sessions with each of these people, and they will be sharing the expertise for 2 hours that you can engage with them and learn all these tricks from them. So she's also a copywriter, a content creator, and a mentor, and she draws a strong technical background to simplify, clarify, and energize communications for the global market. So she leverages the fascinating contrast between the technical and creative worlds, and she helps the clients articulate the authentic and engaging brand stories. So this is Megan. She's going to take over and just share her experience. Thanks, Megan. The floor is yours. Maybe just check that you're not muted. We can't hear you.
Hi there, everyone. I just want to make sure that you can hear me. Today is going to be all about sales process. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am Janine Lingenfelder, and I've got a 21 years of sales experience behind me, and I'm running a successful virtual sales business since 2019. Jelani Sales has helped countless business owners simplify their sales processes and grow their businesses between 10 and 15%. My mission is to really guide you to build your own confidence so that you can embark on a journey of adding more value. So, with no further ado, let's proceed. This is just my page to show you a little bit of background. As I've mentioned, Jelani Sales is my virtual sales business, 21 years of sales experience, co-founder of a company called Explore Van, which is a virtual assistant network, which is a global platform. And just here to empower you in your inner sales by understanding your own sales process. That is my LinkedIn page, so please do connect. So first off, I'm going to just give you an overview of today in terms of what we'll be discussing, and that is what is a sales mentor, what does a sales process look like for accountants, and adapt and improve your current sales process. I know, super excited about this. What is a sales mentor? A sales mentor uses their expertise in the field to guide you along a path that they know from their own experience to be successful. A mentor passes on their expertise to you, guiding you towards success. Now, just imagine the impact of having a mentor who genuinely cares about your success, who has walked the same path, and who is committed to seeing you thrive. My mentorship program will boost your growth, unlock your full sales potential, and set you up for success. In this, I will tell you, what to expect when I am your sales mentor. As accountants, you face unique challenges in your roles. These are just some of them, but it's feeling disconnected from the client's needs and struggling to communicate effectively. Limited business development skills, hindering your ability to contribute strategically. So it's becoming a strategic partner for your clients, right? And it's also difficult in terms of building a professional network and leads. I am here to build a collaborative relationship with you to enhance your skills, and I will provide valuable insights, knowledge, and strategies to help you overcome challenges and achieve your sales goals. Now, there's more to what I can give you as a mentor. I will demystify sales in itself, especially if you don't have any sales background at all. I'm going to make sales fun for you. I will walk the journey with you and will be invested in your continued success, growth, and progress. I will help you build confidence to turn a meeting or an introduction into a sale. I will guide you on how to find leads as an accountant. I will help you to identify the best way to operate your business in sales, as in a sales environment specifically, especially in your approach as a salesperson and to how to optimize that. I will help you find lead magnets for your clients as their accountant and, of course, your potentials. So the big question is, what does a sales process look like? Some of you may not even have a sales process. It's a good question. Now, as mentioned, I'm here to help you to reach your sales goals. And the only way to do so is by having a successful sales process. Now, each sales process for each person looks different, but you must have one, because it's like, if you don't have a sales process, where are you going? What is your focus? So for the step one is to establish trust and rapport. Step two is to identify the pain points of your clients and their needs. Step three is to present a tailored solution. And step four is to follow up and nurture relationships. This is one of the most important steps within your sales process. Now, remember, the sales process is not just about closing a deal, but it's also about building long-term relationships. It is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So continuously provide exceptional service, deliver on your promises, and demonstrate your expertise as an accountant to solidify the relationship and foster the client's loyalty. That is magic right there. So today I just want to share with you some tips as to how you can maybe improve your current sales process, and that is to be organized and prepared. As the accountant to your clients, you should have a clear understanding of your value proposition and be prepared to answer any questions that the client may have. Be persistent. Now be careful. Don't be salesy and just want to push to get that deal. But be persistent in a way that it is so important to stay in touch with your current clients and potential clients through a follow-up process. And that is part of step 4, right? And the other tip, and the biggest tip here as well, is to be patient. As mentioned, sales is not a sprint, it is a marathon. So the sales process can take time. So as the accountant to your clients, you should be patient and remember to not give up. I always say that a no is not a no indefinite. It's just temporary. So by following these tips I've shared with you, it will definitely improve your sales process and increase your chance of success. What's up next for our webinar? I'll be sharing how to understanding the 24/7/30 rule and to apply it to your sales process. I will share with you how your customer journey can look, because each customer is different. I'll be sharing some sales process templates as well. I'll be sharing sales conversation checklists, and of course, how to use case studies to convert potential clients. I hope you enjoyed today, and thank you so much for listening. I am now going to introduce the amazing Mr. Marlon August. I just want to confirm if it is him now, or are we moving to Megan? Okay, Megan. Perfect. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Janine, for stepping in there until my tech issues are sorted out. I hope everyone is well this morning, and I'm so glad to be here with you this morning. I am Megan Diaz, and I am the founder of Paradox Rocks Communications. I'll be covering a large part of the marketing aspect with you in terms of your practice and where you see that going in future. And just a little bit about myself. Bonnie did mention an introduction a bit earlier, but I think where I see myself alongside you is acting as a guide to getting the creative and practical aspects of your marketing, your communications, and that aspect of your business built and ready to go along with the product offering that you ultimately decide on. So I am here to help you step out strong, to stand out from the crowd, and to own the value that you bring into your respective spaces as accountants and people in professional practice. So let's climb into what it is that we're going to look at today. And please feel free to drop any questions into the chat throughout the presentation, which I'll respond to. And also my information is here. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to communicate and connect with you. Right, so let's step into this. Okay, so let's just pop one back. Right. So firstly, I want to do a quick overview with you in regards of the clarity, the clients, and the communication aspects of your business. And where this comes into play is exploring how you want to put yourself out there, how you see yourself serving your clients with what type of product offering, and to make sure that when you are speaking to people, whether it is verbal communication, networking spaces that you enter into, or through your messaging, your social media platforms, etc., to make sure that all of that comes together and synergizes very well so that people understand exactly who you are, what you bring to the table, and how to move forward with you should they choose you as their service provider. And ideally, your communication, your messaging that goes out to your clients should be the type of messaging that makes your life that much easier at the end of the day. You want people to be attracted into your space as a professional. You are not wanting to step out into the space and having to look for clients. There's a word called hustle. That's not what you want to be doing. I know Janine mentioned that in her presentation a few minutes ago. And what you don't want is to have to chase after clients. You want to put your brand, your messaging, your business, your value out there immediately from the get-go, and it must be consistent so people come and find you, because whatever you are putting out there is exactly what they need. So that's the space that I will be talking you through and guiding you through and helping you to actually take what you have, your expertise, your strength, all those superpowers, and even your quirks, and building it into a solution that you can put on the table. And you will be confident in the fact that people that are seeing this communication, and also the right people, that ideal client, the avatar that we're speaking about in a few minutes' time, you want to make sure that they are picking up that messaging, that offer, and then coming into your space and saying, yes, please, I would like to work with you. And this is going to be a long-term journey that we walk together as service provider and client, right? So that's the point we want to get you to in this space. Firstly, your ideal client. Let's look at that concept. What is it? It's basically just saying that there is a set of people out there that you should be marketing to, that you're solving a specific problem for or specific problems for, and you are going to make their lives better by being you in your professional practice. So during this short segment, I'm just going to introduce each of these topics to you and tell them how they fit into your space. But in the full webinar that we have built and that we're building towards, you are going to go through a series of steps that's going to help you find and identify and explore who that ideal client is. So step number 2 on this slide, building solutions for specific pain points. So your client sits with a problem, and inevitably they are out in the market looking for the person that is going to solve that problem for them and with them, right? And that's where you step in. I will be the person in the background, guiding you through identifying how you can solve that pain point that your ideal client has through a nice process that we've laid out for you. And we will help you put together that package, that solution that speaks directly to that perfect ideal client that is waiting for you out there. Third point on the slide, your core product or service. This is the one thing that you want to kick into somebody's space and go, this is what I've pulled together for you. Have a look at it, and this is what I'm bringing to the table with everything that I have and am packed into this little package, this product, the service that's going to change your world. That's what this is about. So your core service is the essence of you and what you can bring to the table for your client, how you make their life better, and how you just become their hero in that way. And then lastly, the final point on this slide, tell, don't sell. So as a copywriter myself, I am immersed in the world of rectifying messages, ensuring that people want to engage with you through your communication. I'm there to help you tell your client and show your client what it is that you are and why you are the solution to their problems. So instead of going out there, running after clients, trying to find clients, trying to figure it out and spending 20 years in practice doing that, we want to get you to a point where you are effectively communicating in every single possible way what value you bring to your potential clients and to that ideal potential client. So it's not a matter of getting you to sell your product. It's a matter of getting you to tell them exactly what it is that you help them with in the way that you do it, that makes them understand from the get-go. So the overview for this is about clarity, helping you find exactly all those components that's going to bring this together for you, helping you find that ideal client, and then helping you to communicate with them on an ongoing and engaging basis that they fully understand where you're coming from and why you are the hero, right? So I'm going to move on to the next slide and round off from there. So from an accountant's perspective and from a professional's perspective, the who, what, why, and how is very important, because knowing who you are speaking to, why you are speaking to them, how you need to be speaking to them, and what it is that you are going to offer them once you've got the attention is critical. That's a vital part of your business. So I help you to find out all these things about yourself so that your package is built from the inside out. So we include the important components that make you and your practice special, makes it stand out. And we bring together all these components that's going to make your ideal client recognize who and what you are. They're going to be engaged by you, and they are going to want to work with you. And those, by far, are the best kind of clients to have. The ones that decide for themselves, this is the person that I want to be my guide through my process, right? And then on point number 2 here, the core product or service offering, again, it is about who wants what in the space of the accounting world, the legal world, a professional service provider. What do your clients want? And what is the most important thing for them? So accounting is a broad field. The legal field is a broad field. But what is it out of all of that that you guys do offer that your client is looking for specifically from you? So we will hone it down completely for you and go, this is what I want to be working with a specific set of clients, and we're going to put it into a package and an offering that really highlights you as a person, a brand, and a guide to your client. Then we will question why your clients will want to invest in your product or service. There are millions of clients out there, but so there are millions of service providers that are in the same type of professional service sector that you are. So what is going to make you stand out from the rest? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about what it is that you bring into people's space that's really going to make them want to step into that journey with you? And then lastly, being persuasive but not salesy, and being able to break down the jargon that is the legal and the accounting field to be able to clearly and simply communicate your message and your value to your clients. That is what this webinar is about and what the paid webinar will be about ultimately. And then lastly, in the upcoming webinar, I just want to run through these points with you. Your ideal client avatar, we will be going through a process where I will guide you down a route to be able to break down a very broad target market. Everyone basically needs an accountant if they're in business, but what type of accountant are you and which client are you putting or attracting into your space? So I will take you through that process, and there will be plenty of resources throughout the space that I will guide you through that will move you from one space, one point to another, so that you can actually make sense of the process. So it is meant to be a very practical guide to getting you from point A to point Z, so that you know what it is that needs to go into that process. And I will guide you through it. We will create your value proposition, which is a statement of the benefits that you bring to your clients. So all of the value I was talking about, all of your expertise, we will put that out there in a killer offer, bundled together so that your client actually can't resist what you're putting out there. And then lastly, we will look at your targeted communications. How are you messaging? What is it that you want to say? And who it is that you want to be saying it to. So again, it will be practical, it will be hands-on. You will be able to pick my brains as someone that's already in the industry and going through this process with clients all the time. I will be there to stand through all of this with you, and then also offer you a variety of templates and resources that you can take away with you and keep repeating this process as your business scales. So I trust that this is something that attracts your attention, something that you would want to do, and something that you recognize as a really vital part of your business. Thank you very much, everyone, for sitting in on this with me. And I think I'm just going to double check if we are moving on to the next speaker now, and want to make sure that they are lined up for you. So I'm just going to verify who it is that we are pulling back into the space with us, and I will give you a quick introduction on who you will be hearing shortly. Thank you very much. Right, so we have Mr. Marlon August stepping into our space next, and Mr. August is one of the best marketers around, someone that I work with very closely, and someone I admire greatly in his field. Marlon, please take the stage. This man used to be known as the salesman when I moved into the circles with him, and he has really built various business through his expertise, his sales and marketing expertise. And today he runs a marketing agency that makes a difference. So presenting to you, Mr. Marlon August. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Megan. Thank you so much for that awesome introduction. I just want to check, can everybody hear me? Just put one if you can hear me in the chat. Just let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, one. Awesome, great. Thank you so much, everybody. Lots of ones coming through, so everyone can hear me. That's great. Thank you very much. This is going to be a pretty interesting session. We're going to talk a lot and leverage quite a bit on what Megan has been sharing. I know she's really, really awesome at trying to help people get really clear on who they are and how that should be presented to the world. And when we're talking about marketing, this is really, really important. So a short thing about me is that I've been in the industry marketing various businesses for over 18 years. I've got quite a lot of lead generation experience, specifically in the speaking industry and the personal development industry, but then moved quite a lot through getting a lot of that traffic online from Facebook and Google and stuff, and driving people into events. We also then I did quite a bit around cold traffic, getting people from Facebook that don't know you to spending like hundreds of thousands of rands with you from Facebook. And I know like just a lot of you, I would love to know, one, if this is true for you, or two, if it was a complete failure. Who has tried to get traffic from Facebook and failed? So one, if it worked, two, if it didn't. Just let me know. Let me know in the chat. Two, if it didn't work. One, if you tried it and it did. Just let me know. One, if it worked. Two, if it didn't. While that comes through, I'm just checking. Did anyone get that message? One, if you did try to get Facebook traffic or Google traffic and it didn't work, and two, if it did work. One or two. Okay, it did work. It did work. Quite a lot of did works. Okay, good. So a good percentage of people so far know that it works. This is very positive. And I think within your industry especially, there's people are struggling with this. And what Megan was talking about is so critical, because understanding that now the twos are starting to roll in, but understanding that the who is so important. Okay, good. So now there's a lot more twos coming through. So now majority are sitting on the opposite side, and really that's what I'm experiencing a lot of. So the goal here today is really just talk about how do we make it work, right? How do we actually make it go from obscure and not really working to a predictable system in-house that really does work? So first of all, it's really understanding that who you work with trumps what you're actually selling. For most of us, we have a profession. We want to provide that profession to people, but that's not what people are buying. People are buying really the result that we can give them. And if that is not presented in a way that where firstly the right people can buy our product. I just saw a 1 and 2, which is like extremely strange. But the thing is, you want to be able to you want to present your offer to the right people that can afford what you want to do and that can help you grow your business. And understanding who that is, what they think about, why they would be the right person is just as important, or probably more important, than your product. So I'm not going to go too much into that because already Megan already spoke a lot about that. But I want to talk a bit today about the marketing steps. 5, a simple checklist that you can do, just 5 things that you can just sort of have listed. And I'm going to ask you a few questions, so please be prepared, to just give me a bit of feedback quickly so that I can also tailor this conversation more into where you need to go. And then I'm going to talk about where I see where most accountants fail, where there's a lot of space in the market, especially when we're talking about marketing, and especially when we're talking about dominating and really growing your piece of the pie. So I lent on this, and it really is like there's this entrepreneurial myth, right? I don't know, has everybody, if you've read the E-Myth, has anyone read the E-Myth? It's a really good book. I've forgotten the author right now, but E-myth. Has anyone read the E-myth? 1 for E-myth, 2 if you haven't read it. So as this comes in, E-myth is exactly that thing that I was talking about earlier. That we have a profession, we are good at something, and then what we do is we decide to build a business around it. Those are two of the biggest problems that we do in the world. Okay, so there's a lot more twos out there. So the problem is not understanding that if you just go to a market that where people buy things that you're selling, there's a higher likelihood that you're going to be selling than you having a product. You want to sell that product, and then you don't necessarily have a market for it. Hope that makes sense. The problem is that us as professions, with people with professions, we try and create a business, and what that ends up doing is that we just get stuck in the business, and you're not actually churning something that will grow, right? You end up getting stuck inside the business. So understanding how to sort of pull yourself into the space where you can be the most productive is really important. Also, where that leans to is finding your space in a market. So are you the accountant or the auditor that is mainly in forensic auditing, that you can help people grow their business by finding those little kinks where they're not really achieving? You helping startups build a great financial model for them to explode. You gotta sort of carve your space, even if you do everything. You gotta carve your space and be able to, like Megan was saying, just find that little nook that is really just for you. And leaning onto a new book now is Red Ocean, Red Ocean, Blue Ocean. It's really about just finding the differences where everybody is an accountant, but where you want to be is this little blue ocean of yourself, of your own, where you do this type of accounting that helps businesses grow. And you just want to find that nice little place where people will want to find you, because that's their end result. So I hope that makes sense. Most people didn't really read the book, so I would suggest reading the book E-Myth. It's really, really worth it. So the thing is, when you understand, when you have a niche and you understand where your little nook is, that is when you can start to think about where your clients are. For example, right now, I want to help accountants. Where am I speaking? At an accounting event. It's just that simple. But at the end of the day, if you just think it through a little bit and you think about what their problems are, you'd be able to really help them. And I think that was also, Janine was talking a lot about understanding your customers' problems. So it's just one of those things, if you think it a bit through, you'll be able to do it. So just a 5-step checklist. So now, look, we're going to try and make marketing super simple. And I know, with a lot of these things, if you just have 5 of these components, your marketing should be pretty much set. You should be set to make money and grow that business. So what that looks like is your quick pitch. Another word for quick pitch is what I call an elevator pitch, or a one-liner. And really, that's how do you explain your business in a 1 sentence or less, really quickly. Explain to people what it is that you do. The thing is, if you are saying you're an accountant, you're sitting in the red ocean where everybody is. If you are just a different, the thing is this. So you may be an accountant, but the way you do your accounting may be different and more important. So you just want to speak about that in a special way. So an example of that, most people struggle with their marketing. They end up finding that marketing is a big black hole where money just goes in and a lot of time is wasted. So what I do is I help people get really clear on what their marketing strategy is, help them build a clear marketing system so that it sells for them 24/7. This is a simple example of a marketing pitch, And the more you can just say that and have your team say this, this is where you start to build on getting messaging that helps just sort of put you aside from everybody else. Hope that makes sense. The other thing is, just tell me yes or no. Does everybody here have a website? And I'm sure that there's some people in here that work for within an accounting firm. So if you do, just please just say yes. Otherwise, no if you don't. I think in this modern world today, we kind of feel we need to. And it's really a good idea to have that. So just yes or no. Do you have a website? The thing about this, while that comes in, the thing about having the right type of website, I mean, if you've got a website, you probably know how difficult it is and how painstaking it is to build. The reality is that today, if you have a brochure type website, one that people can slowly browse and take their time through, you're wasting your money and your time. If you have a beautiful website that's got lots of moving things, but it doesn't actually bring you leads, it doesn't actually get people to get in contact with you, it doesn't bring you money, you have just wasted a ton of your time and energy. The reality is today, we have got to capture new traffic coming to our website within 3 to 5 seconds. If you do not, like a quick tip, if you, on that top section of the website, when it loads, if that section doesn't explain what you do, why we should contact you, and a very clear call to action, you are missing out. So these are just things that you gotta just read. When you re-look at your website, you gotta re-look at it in a way that when a customer lands here, are we enticing them to sell? Are we enticing them to take advantage of us? And I see there's a good mix actually of people that are yeses, a good mix that are nos. So really, but you might not need it or not, but I would suggest that if this is an avenue that you want to go, if you want to build a sales system that works for you 24/7, get a website. But the thing is, it's not just enough to have a website. You need to have something that generates leads and gets leads to put up their hand and say, I'm interested in what you have to say. That would be through having some form of reciprocity, getting people to put their hand up and say, I'm going to put in my details, I'm going to give you my number, and I'm going to connect with you. When they do that, there's a nurture campaign and a sales campaign on the back of that. And a lot of that would then either go to the sales staff, or if you are the one-person army, that you are then connecting with those people soon afterwards. I got a feeling that I'm going to move on. So the last thing is around is how you dominate. And really, you need a solvable problem. One example is that for my agency, one thing we decided we were going to do is we're going to do a large presenting event similar to this. And then we decided, okay, for that to happen, we're going to go and we're going to invite a whole bunch of people to come in. And some of them will be accountants. And so we said, okay, we're going to contact these 250 people. We're going to have 250 people invited to the event. Most likely, we're going to probably have 30% of them join. And then out of the 30% that join, we're going to give them an offer. And if we're good enough, maybe 5 or 10% of them will buy from us. And if that happens, we'll have X amount as revenue. And does that solve the problem? So being very clear on how you guys understand this. You understand budgeting. You understand forecasting. And if you have a solvable problem, I need X amount of leads, generate this amount of money. This is one of the things that's going to really help you explode your business, especially from the marketing side, and understanding what the downside is of the marketing, because it doesn't always work. The other part is the curse of knowledge. The problem is you guys are in a highly technical field, and majority of people don't have a clue about half the things you talk about. And it's about taking, if we have a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 is the maximum amount of information that you know. You guys probably under 13. Me and majority of the rest of the world, we're like on a 2. So you got to scale down your knowledge and your information right down to where we are so that we can understand you. And the secret weapon that I speak about there, the secret weapon that most accountants miss is right there. It's helping us, speaking in layman terms, and helping us clearly understand what it is that we should be looking at, the holes that are in our business, and generating the content online that will make accounting, which, excuse me, I feel is boring, and make that something that I can feel is digestible. So what you can expect from the webinar where I will be presenting is I will be taking the stuff that you do with Megan and bringing that into a simple, repeatable process. Like, what does that look like on your website? What does that look like in an ad? What does that look like when we are presenting our offer to those people, you know, within what we call a funnel? And again, it was like a technical word that might have gone over some people's heads, but really, how do we take all of that and put it into a simple, repeatable process that helps us generate content, put our offer in front of people, and build something on a regular, simple basis? Awesome. Thank you very much. That'll be me, and I'm going to introduce the lovely Rona. Sorry, I just need to make sure I don't botch up her introduction. Oh, I can't find it. But Rona is an awesome copywriter. We've worked with her on a few projects. I mean, you can't find anybody that's more heart-centric and that really knows how to communicate clearly to your customer. And she's going to show you some really interesting things around how to use words and where to use them, especially within your email marketing. So please, Rona, step up. We'd love to. I'm so excited to hear your portion. And I hope that everybody's got lots of notes to write down.
Hi everyone, thank you so much, Marlon. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with you today to talk about email marketing. So during our time together this morning, we're going to dive into a few core elements of email marketing that are really essential for business growth. We're going to find the arrow to click the next screen. Oh, sorry. Multitasking here. So yeah, we're going to look at email marketing. How does it work? How to identify your target audience, how to grow your list and top lead magnet ideas, and quickly look at the beauty of email sequences. So at its core, email marketing is about establishing direct communication with your target audience. So it begins in the middle of the screen here with the process of building your email list. Then by leveraging various channels such as your website, social media platforms, email campaigns, and other strategies like integrating opt-in forms within your blogs maybe, and you can capture the contact details of individuals who willingly subscribe to receive updates and valuable content from your firm. And how do we get these details? We do it through lead magnets a lot of the time. So once you have your growing email list, the real magic happens by personalizing your communications to your different buyer personas, and you understand like their pain points, their challenges, their aspirations, and this allows you to tailor the messaging to suit each segment. So next, how do we identify who should be on your list? I know that Megan earlier, although there was a bit of out of flow, but she already covered a little bit of creating your ideal client avatar. So I'm going to build on that a little bit and look at how you can identify who should be on your list. So one Powerful tool for audience identification is the buyer persona, as I mentioned. So that's really having more than one ideal client avatar. Conducting market research is a really good way to help you shape these buyer personas, and the research will help you develop a clear picture of your different outlines of their characteristics, preferences, motivations, etc. Next, the segmenting your list takes the personalization to the next level by dividing your subscribers into specific segments. You might want to look at different ways of doing that. Maybe like you've got your loyal clients would get a different message from individuals that are interested in a particular service. So this segmentation really helps you make sure each email hits the mark. So moving on next, how do you grow your list? So Marlon touched on websites and the importance of making that really quick impact when people land on your homepage. So you want to make sure that your opt-in forms are really optimized to make sure that you are attracting the subscribers. They should be visually appealing, they should be prominently displayed and accompanied by compelling copy that clearly communicates the value of subscribing to your emails. Leveraging social media campaigns is another really good way to grow your email list. Utilize your social media platforms to promote your lead magnets, encourage signups, and it helps you engage with a broader audience. Creating valuable content is also really key to attracting subscribers and position yourself as an authority in the field. So you want to have maybe good engaging blogs and information that covers these pain points. Next, we've got the potential of lead generation, partnerships, and paid methods. So the paid methods are maybe things like Google Ads or other social media platform advertising. The lead generation partnerships is really about cross promoting with somebody else, so that you can take advantage of their market and their list. And yet, growing your email list is ongoing. It really requires a combination of having effective strategies and consistent effort. So moving on to some lead magnet ideas. So the lead magnets are powerful tools that allow you to showcase your financial knowledge and expertise while attracting and retaining subscribers. So first up, you might want to consider some tailored guides, free, of course, that hit the needs of your target audience. So they could be a really wide range of topics. And excuse me, accountancy is not my area of expertise, but maybe something like tax planning strategies, maximizing tax deductions for self-employed professionals, or tips for managing your business finances more effectively. Checklists are another good way to create another lead magnet that's good. So this is about simplifying processes. So you might want to look at a checklist for preparing tax documents, financial compliance checklist, things like that are easy to digest and help simplify processes. Templates are another valuable resource that can help you save time and provide convenience for your audience. So you might want to look at, financial reporting template, something like that. Exclusive content, that could be, as it says on the slide, premium industry insights or exclusive interviews. The key of successful lead magnets is aligning them with your audience needs, their pain points, providing genuine value in exchange for their contact information. So how do you know what they need? Well, just put yourself in their shoes and think about the challenges that they face, the solutions they seek, and the knowledge that they desire. They should offer practical solutions, actionable insights, or time-saving resources. So I think we're coming, not quite the last slide. So the beauty of email sequences, this kind of brings it all together, what we've talked about. So you really want to look at a strategic approach that maps out the customer journey so you can deliver the right content at the right time, ensuring a seamless and engaging experience. So you start by understanding the different stages that the buyer persona goes through, from awareness to consideration and decision making, with each stage having a different set of needs. Once you understand your customer journey, then you can map out your content to each stage and the buyer persona segment. So, for example, at the awareness stage, you might want to provide industry insights and educational content. For consideration stage, you might want to be looking at case studies and testimonials, and perhaps at the decision-making stage, maybe a discount or a special offer might be appropriate. Next up, we've got the crafting the engaging subject lines, writing compelling copy, and incorporating persuasive calls to action. These are all really important building blocks of an effective email sequence. You need the subject line to get them to read the email in the first place. You need to be engaging with the content, it's appropriate, it's offering value, and yeah, whatever your CTA might be, whether it's to hit reply, whether it's to click through to your website, or to like offer another path to working with you. So building on this very brief introduction to email marketing, in our upcoming webinar, we're just going to go deeper on all these topics. I will start with exploring why email marketing is a game changer for your business. We'll look at the benefits and key components in more detail and how it fits into your overall marketing strategy, which I'm sure you've all got a marketing strategy sorted out. We'll be exploring buyer personas and again, building on what Megan covers with the ideal client avatar. And we'll look at different kinds of segmentation that might best fit your client base. We'll look at 8 organic methods for growing your email list, plus paid strategies. And we'll also take a deep dive into lead magnets, giving you a resource on this. And finally, the step-by-step email sequence planning. That is going to be fun. And yeah, as you probably know, we are giving you resources to help go through this. So that is a very brief run into email marketing. Our next segment this morning is a fascinating look into how you can use AI to attract new clients. And I'm delighted to introduce Justin Hacker and Fuad Mia from Uncanny Lab Limited, who specialise in this area. Justin comes from a software engineering background and Fuad from a marketing background, and together they worked very closely with their clients to either implement or build data and AI solutions. So I'm very looking forward to this segment myself, and I'll let you crack on, guys. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for that intro. That was awesome. And thank you for all for having us. My name's Justin, as we were introduced, along with Fuad Mia. We've co-founded a organization called Uncanny Lab, and that kind of stemmed from Fuad. I'm going to give you the credit on this one. I'm going to say that stemmed from your fascination that spread to me with AI and the power it could bring. And I believe you've been telling me this for almost a decade, and I only became a believer very recently.
It's been very close to a decade. I think it all started from 2016, the AlphaGo Move 37. Now, if you don't know about it, it's a Chinese game, and the move that the computer made was very creative and unique. That wasn't ever made in the history. Seeing that, I became curious, and that's when our journey starts in AI.
Absolutely. And you know, being from a marketing background, and I think it has helped us realize the early value in this technology. I mean, it's earth-shattering what it can do, and especially for client acquisition, and even as you get down the pipeline and servicing your clients. Now AI has in the media had a mixed reputation, we'll say. Anywhere from it's a fad and completely fake, all the way to it will be Terminator and the end of us all. And somewhere in the middle is where we learn what the actual value of it is. So Fuad, why is AI significant to everyone at home here?
Especially from the context of current time. I think it won't be over exaggerating if I say that our last point here is very understated. I would say it's rather a point of inflection in our civilization. And this is going to be much bigger than the waves of the internet. And the reason being,
I know you like to say it's actually the next industrial revolution equivalent event, but you know
perhaps
me, I'm
more.
all for my understatements.
Perhaps more. It could be as big as fire. We don't know that yet. And if economists are saying that the impacts are going to be similar as we have seen in the past, it is somewhat hypothetically being said without any evidences, because this kind of technologies we haven't seen in centuries. And therefore, this is the future is slightly unknown, but let's see what we can do to reap the benefits out of it at this current stage, as Justin says. We need to understand why this is the point of inflection, why this moment of pivoting is because for so long, humans, we tried to get used to technology. We still are doing that to some degree. But suddenly, as AI and its power we are uncovering, it's actually learning us, and it's going to do that at a very faster scale than our speed of learning. Now, AI's benefit in terms of marketing business is because the efficiency that you'd be able to bring at scale. Its decision-making ability, which we're going to see soon through Justin's next slide presentation. Personalization in marketing, as you have probably heard for the last 10 years, it is important. However, only now you can do personalization at scale because of several things, AI, of course, but also cloud computing and many other things combined. Again, just months ago, years ago, just a couple of years ago, when it came to personalization, you'd be thinking about segmentation. This segment, this persona, I would be sending them this email. But what we are talking about now at this stage transcends a little bit beyond that. You could actually create content on the fly and resonate with them, something that you haven't designed to do yourself explicitly. We're going to get into that a little bit after this. Cost savings. There's tremendous opportunity in terms of cost savings. Think about the customer experience. We know that the ROI of experience ultimately that grows your business exponentially. And the experience, the delight that you can provide with AI infused with human can tremendously optimize the journey. Think about call centers. If you have a large accounting firm and someone has to hold on the phone for minutes, but if their questions could be answered immediately, or if they could be routed to the right person for the right solution, let's say time to that could be reduced by 90%, 80%. Think about the experience that you'd be optimizing.
Absolutely, and I think the most important word there to kind of keep in mind with AI is scale. Everything's an economy of scale these days. So, how much can you actually do yourself? How much can your small team do? How much can you do with an AI copilot that, takes your basic idea and runs with it? Which is where we kind of lead into, the most popular form of AI that most people have come into contact with, which is your generative AIs. It's the AI that writes things for you, that does your accounting for you, that does your, images for you. It's a wild world of AI that has been taught to understand the basics of the world. It has the basic rules. It has some basic history. It even has the US tax code built into it to some degree, at least up until 2021. Um, and that's why they call them foundational models in a lot of senses. It's because they have the foundations of the world and they fulfill their tasks based on those foundations. Um, as you're using it in a marketing context, what you're probably going to run into most is tools that can improve your writing. We're looking at the Grammarlys of the world, the Chat GPTs, things that can help you take an idea all the way to the end. Also, when we're talking about images, you'll hear things like Midjourney or Stable Diffusion. These are image generation platforms that let you do very similar just in the image space. And there's also audio models. There's video models coming out now, which I know you're very excited about, Fuad. And let's take that back to when we were at the marketing agency all those years ago. What was your number one frustration when something was stuck in your head and you were trying to explain it to someone? Well, it's
Time to
explaining it, right?
Yep.
So
And then back and forth workflow too, the time to getting it done.
Exactly. And time is money. And it's also time is opportunity. The lag between when you have a customer show interest in you and when you're able to, make some content that speaks to them or an email or a message, you lose them over time. So let's take a little example of a, ad we ran for a client at some point in time. Now, in the left here, you're going to see a cat in a suit, which is, wild, right? And this is when I first got my hands on Midjourney. I generated this just to show someone this is what it could do. Special notice: I described a cat in a suit very vaguely, but let's take a look at how well it understands its audience. That bowl in front of it has goldfish crackers in it, which is not something I asked for, but the AI just knew a cat would obviously have goldfish crackers on his desk. So that sat on my hard drive for almost a year. And then we ran an ad for generative AI. So the first thing I needed was a good, concept. So my concept, I was scrolling through everything I generated and I found this cat in a business suit. And I'm like, you know what? That's my ad. But it was too small. And traditionally, I have to get someone with some skills to, widen it or reframe it or do the background over. In this case, I brought it over into Adobe Firefly, widened it with AI generative fill, ran some filters over it in Photoshop using Firefly again. And we come out with this ad that was lovely. And I did it by myself. And I'm not by any means a graphic designer in an afternoon. Which
the journey and the workflow and the journey was compressed from many days into probably just half an hour. And we were able to launch the email campaign the same very day. Next morning, we had some leads waiting in our inbox. Now,
and as we've heard time and time again throughout this and well, anything you listen to about marketing, content is king. And time to content is important. Quality of content is important. So like as we look at all this, it's important to understand that, these tools let you ideate very quickly. And sometimes they get you to the end of the road very quickly. But, it's always an assistive thing. Someone who has given you a framework for what you're doing or has a background in this will get more mileage. But the great thing about AI is it doesn't have to get you all the way there. It's in many cases the start of an idea, which as a co-pilot, these tools are excellent for. Now, what is special? Now we understand that automation was, achieved a long time ago using programming and clever tricks, but what has changed since then? What is special about this AI wave in terms of, its ability to understand and deliver?
that's a great question. Now, if we think about a knowledge box from, let's say, since the inception of human since the time that we have been actually documenting our understanding, knowledge, the science up until now. And imagine the power if it could reason with all that knowledge. And that's basically what you have now. It has the ability of reason, and that changes everything. And if you look at this graph, all this high expertise, LSAT, MCAT, MSAT, you take a look and see how high it reaches in terms of its cognitive ability. Now, also take a look in terms of multimodalities. In this case, only in few places you see the application of vision, and that's not complete yet. That's far from complete in terms of training the large language models. Once that's completed, the reasoning ability would be far more superior. And that's what makes AI more capable in many things than we are. And the use of AI would be much more beneficial in those cases.
Yeah, it's like having an expert in any subject. And any subject it's not an expert in, we can actually train it to be an expert in it. So, we're looking at the tools. These are the out-of-the-box tools. We have our Chat GPTs, our Mid-Journeys, and that. But what if I wanted something a little more, close to my business? All of these tools, with the right help and the right vision, can be integrated into the software you already use. So your CRMs, your, marketing workflows, and things like that. All of them have APIs, which let you kind of specify what you want it to do. And, a clever developer can help you connect that to your internal data. And there's so many benefits to that, because one thing that I will want to impart on everyone is if you're going to try GPT at any point, don't drop any personal information in there. Make sure you scrub it first. The benefits of bringing it into your organization in a more native way is that you can actually do that scrubbing on the fly rather than depending on everyone to just always scrub their content and things like that.
Absolutely. And number two would be the accelerated workflow. You're still losing so much in between, and the business
the
context.
extra clicks that ruin your day.
Now, we talked about a lot of emails and a website. So I pasted a couple of websites address here. One particularly where you can just quickly give some ideas about your business and certain specific objective, and it'll immediately create you a beautiful website, far from perfection, but it'll give you that immediate something to start working with that probably would be already saving 4 or 5 days of your own thinking process journey. And then imagine just taking that to someone who is expert. You have already done 80% of their job. Now, how efficient would that be for your time to getting your website done, cost efficiency, and so forth? The other website that I have linked here is Synthesia, where you can create videos of your own video. You can upload your video, and then you can create, let's say you're creating courses and so forth internally for your organization, for training materials, this and that, which don't have to be high video produced materials and so forth. Take a look and see how quickly you can deliver this kind of, or democratize this kind of video produced content.
Yeah, I think that's a great message with the AI thing. I think a lot of people think that as something very new and potentially scary, but really, the best way to get started into it is just get started with it. Try some free tools, try some paid tools if you feel brave, which leads us into, what you could expect from, our future webinar. Well, we're going to take a deeper dive into some of the popular systems, our GPTs, our, image generations. We might even talk a little bit about propensity modeling, which helps you figure out your best customers. We'll also bring you frameworks for how to implement this, because I think this is a stop point for many people. Is I know AI is out there, I know it's cool, and I know it's powerful. I just don't know where to start. And you know what, Fouad, as you were saying the other day, frameworks are the best thing to do that. I mean, it's structure where structure does not exist, right?
Absolutely, and we're going to probably end with that a little bit. The framework that we work with is in 3 different categories, how we put the different use cases in different buckets: tool, collaboration, and Muse. Tools are all of these different things, that some of those things that you're already using. A good example would be email spam filtering. You're not doing anything, very reduced human interaction, but a lot of the things happening in the back to protect you, to automate things, to get things done. Collaboration, which another good example that you may be already using, is when you're writing email with Gmail, it's suggesting you the next sentence or next line. That's actually also part of our other category. Muse is actually combined together because it's completing your thoughts. Another good example of collaboration would be GitHub Copilot for all our tech audience here.
Copilot is going to be the word of the next 12 months, as far as I'm concerned. There's going to be a Copilot for everything. With that, Fouad, I think we will move on to our next presenter. So I'd like to introduce Somerville Lombard. She is a superstar in the global virtual assistant world, and someone who has cracked the code on something that I shamefully still find quite intimidating and not my favorite thing: LinkedIn lead generation. I don't know how you do it, but I guess we're about to find out.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Justin, for that awesome introduction. That was amazing. Welcome, everybody. I'm Somerville Lombard. We're going to be going over lead generation, how to attract new clients for your professional services. Okay. I come from a teaching background where I was a teacher for 20 years in IT. I'm a lead generation coach. I'm also co-founder of Explore Van with Janine Lingenfelder, who was speaking earlier. I'm also the founder and CEO of the Somerville Agency. Okay, today we're going to be talking about how to harness LinkedIn. This is what we're going to cover today. Understanding LinkedIn's potential, optimizing your LinkedIn profile, building a relevant network, creating engaging content, leveraging LinkedIn groups, utilizing LinkedIn's advanced search and filters, personalized outreach, and connection requests, tracking and measuring its success. Okay, let's start with number one. Understanding LinkedIn's potential. LinkedIn has key features and benefits for lead generation. It has a vast professional network, as most of you should know, a targeted audience segmentation, which we'll be talking a little bit more about later, engagement opportunities through content sharing, reputation building, and credibility enhancement. Okay, number two, let's get optimized, one of my favorites. Okay, a well-optimized LinkedIn profile is going to do wonders for your LinkedIn lead generation. What most people do is they love to go to your profile, check you out first before they even connect with you. If you send them a connection request, that's the first place they're going to go. Because why? Everybody wants to know who they're connecting with. You would do the same. Okay, so to make sure your profile looks nice and professional, you need to have a good photo. You sitting on the beach in Bali is not going to cut it. You need to have a very nice professional headshot. Craft a compelling headline and summary. That is going to make or break your profile. If you have a very good summary and an about section, most people will connect with you and will want to know more. In there, please highlight your expertise, your experience, and your unique selling proposition. Include relevant keywords for search engine optimization. Okay, we need to also then build a relevant network. Your network is key to your success. If you have a good network, your business will do well. Okay, you need to connect with the right professionals on LinkedIn. Identify your target audience and the industry influencers. Connect with these potential clients, partners, and decision makers, and join industry-related groups and participate actively Don't just join them and don't do anything. You obviously have to join and be part of what's happening in the groups. Otherwise, you will not be noticed. Okay. You need to create engaging content, share valuable insights, industry trends, and thought leadership content. Encourage audience engagement through comments, likes, and shares. Use multimedia formats such as images, videos, and slide shares. The most popular one that will get a lot of engagement is your personalized videos. Okay, you need to leverage LinkedIn groups. I was talking about this just now. The benefits of LinkedIn groups for lead generation is you can find and join relevant groups in your industry. In there, you can engage in discussions and share helpful content, establish yourself as an industry expert, and build relationships. Now, the focus on LinkedIn is to build the relationships. By building the relationships and showing your knowledge that you are an expert in your field, you will gain trust. That is the key when it comes to building your lead generation on LinkedIn, is you have to build the trust. Don't have trust, you will not get leads, because leads like to buy from people they trust. Okay, utilizing LinkedIn's advanced search and filters. You need to narrow down your search to the specific job titles, your industries, the locations. Where is your target audience? Where will you find them? What do they do? What do they like? We should all know that by now. Okay, identify the decision makers and potential clients within your target market. Utilize the Save Searches feature to stay updated on new leads. That is a cool function because you can always come back to it later. Okay, personalized outreach and connection requests. This I cannot emphasize enough. You need to have, it is actually an art, the art of personalized outreach on LinkedIn. I will go more in depth in this in our future webinar, where you craft a personalized connection request and a connection requests and the compelling messages afterwards. You focus on the value you can provide to the person that you are connecting with, because if they don't see value, they will not connect with you. They will not get a lead. Okay, avoid generic templates and spam-like approaches. Nobody likes to be connected with a salesperson that instantly starts trying to sell them something in their first few messages. So avoid the generic ones. Let's rather come up with personalized ones, personalized to you, personalized to your business, and personalized to the person you're actually searching for. We can create nice templates that sound and are authentic and sound like you, and not just like a spammy message that you get from these salespeople. Okay. Then you can track and measure the success of your messages going out, monitor your profile views, connection requests, and engagement metrics. Sales Navigator helps a lot with this. Tracking conversions and lead generation and leads generated in LinkedIn. You can also utilize LinkedIn's analytic tools and third-party solutions, which I can mention a few in our future webinar. What to expect in our upcoming webinar? Okay, LinkedIn strategies that can truly transform your business. From optimizing your LinkedIn profile to draw the right attention to converting these valuable connections into leads, we cover it all. How to engage with ideal client lookalikes and the strategic steps to take once you connect with them. So I look forward to seeing you in future webinars. I am now going to introduce the next presenter, which is going to be Hendrik Baird. He is a master podcaster, and with he has a wonderful history in podcasting, arts, and multimedia, and he is going to knock your socks off. Enjoy, Hendrik.
Thank you very much. There we go. Yeah, thank you very much for that introduction, and thank you for welcoming me into the space. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about content marketing. Now, when you are an accountant, then of course you want to do the accountant things and not necessarily generate content all the time. So I will be showing you how to do that with my presentation here. So I'm Hendrik. I completed a master's degree recently. I come from a theatre background, and I've worked extensively in the entertainment industry for the past 35 to 40 years. My master's was around online radio. And then while I was doing that, I realized that podcasting is really where the action is. And I pivoted that way. So my son and I started our company 2 years ago, and we really help people to start podcasting, especially businesses. So let's talk about how you can use a podcast for your content marketing campaign. You may know that content marketing is an important pillar of your overall marketing campaign. But like I said, creating new content all the time is not easy. And if you are running your business, you probably don't have the time to do that. So I'm here to talk to you today about how you can turbocharge your content marketing campaign. How? Well, I'll show you how to leverage the power of podcasting to attract new clients. First of all, what is a podcast? It is a digital audio file that can be downloaded or streamed over the internet. Now, just like you get movies on demand, essentially a podcast is audio on demand. And they are a great way to share your expertise and insights with a wider audience, and they can be a very effective way to build relationships with potential clients before you've even met them. Over the past 20 years, podcasting has grown exponentially. Just a year or so ago, there were over 2 million active podcasts in the world, and that number keeps on growing all the time. So how do you start a podcast? People think it's a huge job and it's completely overwhelming. But if you break it down and you chunk it down, you can easily do it. So how do you get started with podcasting? Here are a few ideas to help you. First of all, start with very clear goals. What do you want to achieve with your podcast? Do you want to use it to build brand awareness? Do you want to establish yourself as an expert in your field? Do you want to generate leads? It's only once you know what those goals are and how you will measure that you've reached success that you can start to plan your content. The next step is to identify a niche, and I think Marlon referred to this earlier. What makes your podcast different from all the other podcasts out there? What aspect do you cover that nobody else is covering? Once you've identified your niche, then you can start to attract a previously defined ideal listener, which links in also with what Megan was talking about. And then you can talk to that person, and because they will be interested in what you have to say. Next, you've got to plan your content and your frequency. How often are you going to publish episodes? How long will each episode be? What are the topics you're going to cover? It's really a good idea to plan a season, for instance, in advance, say 6 or 10 or 12 episodes, and then break it down into its individual episodes, and you can start to create your content from there. People often ask me what kind of equipment you need. So yes, there are some things you need, but you don't have to spend a fortune on equipment. You do need a microphone and some basic recording software. You can use your cell phone if you want. That's a great place to start. Or you can invest in some cheap equipment that's not too expensive and really does the job well. You also need a pop filter perhaps and a noise cancellation headphones so that you can really get good quality recordings. You also need to look at your artwork and create visually appealing artwork. Your podcast artwork is, of course, going to be the first thing that people will see. So make a good impression by using high quality images and text, and make sure your artwork is consistent with your overall branding. And then marketing the podcast, just like you're marketing this, there are techniques that you use to market the podcast. Once you have your podcast up and running, you need to start promoting it. You can share it on social media, submit it to various directories through an RSS feed, and reach out to other podcasters in your niche. And then what we really are interested in here is how to repurpose your podcast. You've created a few episodes. Now you can start repurposing your content, which means you can turn your audio files into other forms of content. For instance, blog posts or social media posts or infographics. Repurposing your content is a great way to reach a wider audience and to attract new clients. Now, most podcasters only get to recording and never get to the repurposing part. And I think this is where you will set yourself apart. Because why do you repurpose the podcast? One, it extends your reach. It allows you to reach a wider audience. For instance, if you take your podcast and you turn it into a blog post, then you can reach people who don't normally listen to podcasts, and perhaps you can convince them to click through and listen to it. You will get maximum content value, because when you repurpose your content, you'll be able to get the most value out of your work by creating multiple pieces of content from one single episode, which can help you to spread the message far and wide, attract more listeners, and indeed more clients. You can also drive traffic to your business when you repurpose your content. Include links to your website or other online properties or your LinkedIn account and so on. This can help you drive traffic to your business and generate leads. And then, of course, you want to attract customers. This is what this webinar is all about, isn't it? So when you repurpose your content, it's a great way to showcase your expertise and to attract new customers. Because when people see that you're knowledgeable and passionate about your subject matter, they will be more likely to do business with you. Let's move on to the next part, which is the ways in which you can repurpose your podcast content. Here are a few ideas. The most crucial one, and the one you have to do first, is to do a transcript. It's the most basic form of repurposing. By simply transcribing your audio files and publishing them as posts or articles, you already have content. It's also good for people who have hearing issues, perhaps deaf people or people who are challenged that way, who can't necessarily listen to your podcast. They'll be able to read it. And the transcript is also the key to all of the other content that you will create. For instance, blog posts. You take the podcast episode and you turn it into a blog post that lists the most important point that was discussed. And you can also add more detail and context to your content. LinkedIn articles, that's a great way to share your expertise with your professional audience on there. They're also a great way to drive traffic to your website or to your blog. Then, of course, social media posts. If you're like me and you want to post something every day, well, you can share your expertise and break down your podcast episodes into shorter social media posts or take quotes from it, from what somebody said. And it's a great way to get your audience to engage with you and to attract new listeners, and also to have that two-way communication. When people comment on your posts or your podcast in social media, then of course you can incorporate that into future episodes. You can also make audio and video snippets. And of course, video podcasting, by the way, is also an important part of podcasting these days, the visual aspect. People like to watch people sitting and talking on a podcast somehow. Interesting. But you can share short audio and video clips from your podcast on social media or on your website. It gives people a taste of your content, and perhaps it will encourage them to click through and listen to the full episode. Then, of course, there's also visual content you can make. Infographics is a great way to visually communicate the message. And I read somewhere that people interpret a graphic so quickly, and that's obviously a great way then to engage with your audience. Slide presentations like LinkedIn carousels or PowerPoint presentations can be made using content from your podcast. And of course, if you are that way inclined, you can even write an ebook or a book which can be published. I was speaking to a podcaster the other day who got invited by a publisher to write a book on the strength of her podcast. So there's some ideas for the types of repurposed content. The step-by-step repurposing process. First of all, you select the episodes that you want to repurpose. Then you identify key points. What are the key takeaways from each of those episodes? What are the insights that you want to share? Then you choose your format. Which formats are you going to use? It's going to go back to your ideal listener as to where you will post and what kind of content you will post for them. You will adapt your content across all the different formats, create visuals, and launch, publish, and promote. Send it out to the world, and you are bound to get some reaction from that. Also, remember, this is a longer-term strategy. It's not something that's going to bring results this afternoon, but perhaps in a month, 2 months, and up to 2-3 years into the future, you will still reap the results of this. So just some benefits why repurposed content is so important. It increases your visibility. It helps you to reach that wider audience. It helps to demonstrate your expertise and to build authority in your field. It can also help you to generate leads and attract new customers. And repurposing your content can help you save time and resources. Creating multiple pieces of content from a single episode will help you to reach a great many more people. And finally, it will attract customers. That's what you want. It's a great way to showcase your expertise, attract new customers. They see that you're knowledgeable and passionate about what you do, and therefore more likely to discuss it with you. So we are going to do a 2-hour webinar on this topic, and it's going to be a little bit more practical. I will show you practically how to start a podcast, the basics, the very basics you need to get going. And you can even go and record it from there. I will also show you advanced techniques for repurposing and hooking into what my friends Fuad and them said earlier about AI. I will show you a lot of free tools, some AI tools, and it'll make the whole process easier. And of course, we can talk about this in much more detail and answer all your questions. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you so very much, and I hope it brought you a little bit of value and that you'll join me at the upcoming webinar. I'm Hendrik from Baird Media. I'll hand you now back to Somerville, who is getting 2 turns today. So Somerville, the girl with the flowers in her hair, according to that song. Somerville, welcome back. And what are you talking about now? Creating a brand that speaks to your ideal clients. That I'm definitely going to listen to. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll catch you around sometime soon.
Thank you, Hendrik. That was amazing. Okay, me again. Here we go. Okay, with this, in this section is one of my favorites. As you can see, I am still got 20 years experience in teaching, but one of my favorite parts is I've got a passion for creativity and the psychology, especially the psychology behind branding. Now, that was where we are going to go today. So in the content today, we're going to be understanding your ideal client, crafting your brand identity, developing your brand message, creating an emotional connection, building brand trust and credibility, engaging with your ideal client. Okay, let's go. Now, you need to understand your ideal client. If you understand your ideal client, you'll know how your brand is supposed to look and what will attract them. So let's go give you an example. Imagine you run a fitness apparel brand targeting active individuals. Through demographic understanding, so understanding your clients and where they are, you discover that your ideal client is predominantly women aged 25 to 35 who are health conscious, work full-time jobs, and prioritize comfort and style in their workout clothing. Armed with this knowledge, you can tailor your brand's message, product offerings, and marketing campaigns to resonate specifically with this target audience. So that is going to make a massive difference to how you build your brand. Okay, crafting your brand identity. You need to ensure that you have your logos, your colors, your typography, and visual elements. Those are extremely important to attracting the right person to your brand. Keep consistency in branding across all different platforms. Don't try and do something different on Instagram than what you're doing on Facebook or LinkedIn. Keep it the same. Successful brand identities and the reasons why their effectiveness, you can see. If I just put that little symbol of BMW somewhere, without the BMW, you're going to know that's BMW without even the letters being there. Coca-Cola, their typography is amazing. If I write that any other word in that typography, in that font, you're going to know it's the Coke font. That's how well they've built their brand. Lego, you can use those three colors, yellow, blue, and red, anywhere. You're most probably going and put it in a block. You're most probably going to know it's Lego. Lego has even have their own style of Lego blocks. That a certain height for each of the little blocks, certain size. That's Lego. Okay. Okay, we need to develop your brand messaging. A compelling brand message is going to make a massive difference to your brand. Okay, aligning your brand message with the needs and desires of your ideal client. Tips on crafting an authentic and resonating brand story. I was there. Okay, we need to make sure that we have sorry. I lost my spot for a second there. Okay. Okay, creating an emotional connection with your brand. If people do not resonate with you and have a emotional connection, they're most probably going to move on to a different one that does make them feel something. Brand personality and how it affects customer perception. Strategies to evoke emotions and connect with the ideal client on a deeper level. If you make them feel very happy, they're going to be very happy with your brand. Building brand trust and credibility. Ways to establish trust is through consistent quality, transparency, and social proof. You're not going to just buy from any Jan Rap on the street, are you? No, you're going to buy from someone that you trust, that you know has got a good reputation. Creating valuable content. You need to make sure that you've got enough valuable content to attract your clients. If your quality of your content is not right, you're going to lose your clients. Positioning yourself as an expert is also key to having a good brand. Engaging with your ideal client. There are a few strategies for effective brand engagement through social media, email marketing, and through events. If you join our upcoming 2-hour webinar, we will be diving deeper into engagement tactics. Okay, what to expect in the upcoming webinar? I will be covering everything from the basics of branding to exploring the psychological impact of shapes and colors, how your brand can influence perception and the decision-making process. I will guide you on constructing a brand that directly addresses your ideal client's needs and desires. And it is my pleasure to announce the next presenter, which is going to be Mr. Stephen Levy. Now, Mr. Stephen Levy is absolutely amazing at what he does. He is a leadership business coach, and he has changed the lives of many people that I know. And I look forward to what he has got to say to you today. Welcome, Mr. Levy.
Thank you so much, Somerville. I really appreciate those kind words. And all I can say as well to everybody that's spoken up to now, it's absolutely amazing how the world of technology and the importance of getting yourself out there has really gone to another level. And you can see it really amazes me. You can probably, I'm giving my age away by this massive set of headphones that I've got on. I see everybody's got AirPods and all these little things out their ears. But anyway, let's get on to this. So yeah, I have 38 years of experience in business. Been very privileged to be experienced to a lot of leadership, exposed to a lot of leadership positions and people in leadership. My academic qualifications will not fill my wall. I have a diploma in construction supervising and a diploma in coaching. And the rest of that became a lifelong student of that wonderful university called life. But what I did have to do was meet with people. And it's all about networking. So networking is an extremely powerful platform. And the power of networking lies in genuine connections where we can exchange value. And most importantly is building trust and building relationships rather than aggressive selling, which I will get into and chat about a bit later. I believe we network constantly, albeit personally and or professionally, but in both cases, the core is building relationships, of which some become meaningful and others remain at arm's length. That's the nature of the world. There are 8 billion people in the world. We don't all get on with everybody, and that's okay. So my experience, I'm going to share a little bit about my experience belonging to networking groups, which spans over about 6 years officially. And it's enabled me to establish meaningful, trusting relationships. And that's before trying to sell, which I will never do, any of my service offerings. But it gives me the opportunity to access new opportunities, expand my reach globally, and leverage the collective knowledge and the support of an extremely diverse network. It has also provided a support system of like-minded individuals who understand the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, and sharing experiences, challenges, and successes with each other is really key to just getting that support and meeting with people who find themselves in similar situations, and provides emotional support, motivation, and inspiration to overcome these obstacles that we are going to face as we continue on our life's journey. So it ultimately helps us persevere, get over those obstacles, and will fuel business growth. I'm going to allay some of the fears that you have regarding networking, because it's not something new. A lot of people do get a bit anxious and nervous when going to networking. One of the things is, oh, I've got to speak, which I'm talking about. I did that as well. But actually, if you really think of it, we're speaking to people every day, and you're speaking to new people. So networking is no different. Just see it as a more structured space for you to get out and showcase really who you are. Make it an adventure, and explore the avenues to find the one that is of value to you. So I'm going to move on to my next slide, and network to net profit. So as accountants, you'll all understand that the true measure of how your business is doing is your net profit. Yes, there are things like that come before that, like revenue, generating revenue. You've got gross profit, but ultimately your net profit is what really determines the true measure of how your business is doing. And this will be the outcome, the ultimate outcome, or the eventual outcome of effective networking. It does have its place in the growth of your business and how well your business does. So I want to cover 3 factors that are essential to networking. And those 3 points are building a solid network, unleashing the power of networking to attract new clients, cast a wide network in net, okay, of expanding your reach, visibility, creating impactful collaborations, and building sustainable long-term relationships. And then mastering the art of network. This is key. Net quality referrals. And that's what it's really all about, is getting those quality referrals, but it's not necessarily what one should be focusing on. So I'm going to take you through this session quickly of the power of networking and building bridges and how we maximize success. So let me start off with saying getting to know about people in your network, okay, forms credibility. You cannot, and I will repeat that, you cannot form any credibility or trust without doing this. Networking provides you with the opportunity to meet and connect with potential clients, customers, partners, suppliers, and investors. Yeah, investors. You heard me correct. There are a lot of people out there looking to invest in businesses. And, you know, the future of the world economy, I believe, is going to be driven by entrepreneurs. So get yourselves out there, make yourselves visible. And networking is a great platform to do that. By building relationships with these individuals, you can increase the likelihood of uncovering new business opportunities that can contribute to the growth of your business. It's going to require you to exercise a lot of patience and also importantly, be active in your network. Okay? There is a reason why it's called network. Otherwise, they would have called it net sit or net lay. Lucky this is a South African presentation because I don't think anybody overseas would have understood that. So I hope, except, oh yes, I've got two of my colleagues that I know, Justin and Fawad. So net sit is, you know, sitting and lay is lying down. So, but there's a reason it's called network. So the work is not necessarily in selling what you do, but rather in building relationships. And this I learned through one of the many networks I've belonged to. The one that really lives that is Explore Protec, who have actually brought us all together here. And because their motto is coffee first, business later. And I cannot emphasize more how important that is. If you go into a networking function and you're going to go in hard selling, it ain't going to work. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, please, when you go in, build up the relationships, chat to people. Networking is not a formal, and it shouldn't be a stressed out adventure. It should be a fun-filled adventure where you get to just learn about people. And that's what the world is about, people. I can assure you the mistake that I've often seen is that people going into a networking event, and I've experienced it, with a selling mindset, and your networking journey will be short-lived. So nobody likes, it's a wonderful saying that I heard from a sales coach, is that nobody likes to be sold to, but everybody wants to buy. Take note of it. Don't sell to people. Add value, they'll buy from you. Right. My next slide is going to take you through how we casting out our wide net and creating impactful, long-term, sustainable relationships. So I want to touch on a couple of articles here, points here, sorry, is diversify your network, okay? And be strategic in it. You know, when you diversify your network, I'm talking about join up and try out different platforms, because not every networking platform, although there are many of them, suit you. They all have their own culture. They all have their own ways of doing things. And it is important. Go and explore them. Go and experience them. And don't be afraid to step out of them if they don't work for you. You will find the one that does work for you. So understand what the involvement is required in them, because you also cannot belong to everyone. Well, you can belong to everyone. You won't be actually be able to truly participate and get the benefit of each one if you're going to belong to a million networks. It's not going to work, because you're just going to be there and you're going to cover the surface. You won't have time to build meaningful relationships. I can assure you that. So make sure that you actually understand what is involved, what does the network require of you in order to participate in it. So networks, for example, like the Chamber of Commerce, there's Business Network International, and the one that I mentioned a short while ago, Explore Protec. There are many others, believe me, and I'm not going to go through them all. I don't have time. But it does provide opportunity for collaboration and partnerships with other businesses or professionals that are complementary industries. So by forming strategic connections, and alliances, you can combine your resources, expertise, to reach and create mutually beneficial opportunities. So it's not necessarily doing business with the people that you meet at networks, but you can collaborate and make a powerful team. They can lead to joint ventures. You can co-marketing campaigns, product bundling. You can even share distribution channels, all of which can significantly enhance your business growth. So, as my esteemed colleague, Janine Lingenfelder, who spoke to you on sales, and she is like the ultimate sales coach, will tell you that fortune is in the follow-up. If I've had experience coaching with Janine, if you don't follow up, you're in trouble. It's the same thing in networking. Don't wait for people to reach out and connect with you. You will get to know people better and enhance the relationship through a cup of coffee first and a business mindset later. Okay? If you feel that you have a connection with someone, reach out to them. Find out. I've experienced this. People actually love it when you reach out and connect. How many times have you maybe experienced when you have done so, is that people have said to you, thank you so much for reaching out to me. Okay, I've experienced it. I appreciate it. And I'm sure if each of us do, why shouldn't others? So let's do that. It's something that we have available to us. It's really simple. Networking is not a difficult operation. It's simple. It just requires time, and it requires you to be proactive, and it requires active participation. Right, mastering the art of networking. This is key. So you need to understand in networking you're there not to sell, as I've mentioned before, and you will hear me mentioning this several times because I truly believe in it, is sell value. Okay, offer value. Don't sell what you're doing. Offer people value. Tell them why, as Marlon August, who also, they call him Mr. Sales, but Mr. Sales in the right context. And Marlon is truly the expert at this. So it's about why your business exists and the impact it has on the people that are engaging in your services. Speak about that, because that's what people will actually buy into. It allows you to showcase your own expertise, your skills, your unique value proposition to a broader audience. And you can really truly get to this audience extremely quickly, especially today with the advent of all these virtual platforms and so on. All our borders have been removed. You can network anywhere in the world. By constantly demonstrating your knowledge and providing value to others, you can build a strong personal brand that positions you as an authority in your industry. It not only will help you attract clients and customers, but it will also open the doors for example, speaking engagements, media opportunities, as Hendrik Beard mentioned to you, industry recognition, all of which can contribute again to the growth of your business. And the world, we live in an extremely competitive world. People will not do business with you if you are not visible. The person you're networking with, and I've explained, I might have alluded this to earlier, but I'm going to tell it to you now, is not necessarily your client. In fact, more often than not, okay, they are not your client, but they can be your greatest referral resource, and vice versa. So these individuals are more likely to refer you to others in their network who may be in need of your product or your services. So referrals are a valuable source of leads, and they come with a higher level of trust, credibility, often resulting in higher conversion rates. It also gives you a lot of credibility when you are able, not to do business, when you are able to refer somebody to a client. So, you know, I've worked with people that are looking to become more efficient in their business, and I've referred certain people to them who are experts in those areas that they need to improve in, and they've turned around and they think I'm a great coach, and I did nothing. I referred, not from my side, I referred people to them, people who could help them and add value and sort out the challenges that they were looking at. And it gave me a lot of credibility without really doing anything. So understand it's an extremely important part of networking. And we will cover that in the upcoming webinar and obviously a lot more. This is a brief overview of what I can give you. I will share something with you that I'm very that came from networking and actually came from having a cup of coffee 5 years ago, led me to coaching 24 leaders in 9 different countries globally. That started with a cup of coffee in Cape Town. Okay, and I didn't even coach the person that I had the coffee with. We were in the same networking group, coached her husband, and then the rest just carried on. So I'm going to also, the last point is to be very specific about who you're asking for when you are speaking to people in a networking group. And you will go through that. Everybody before me, people have spoken about avatars. So all these people can help you get really honed in and specific about who your target audience is. Because as you know, the old saying is anybody plus everybody equals nobody. Remember, just please remember that. And yeah, that's all I can share with you right now. Remember, specific is terrific. And every one of my clients has come through word of mouth, and 90% of them started from networking. So, and expanded my client base globally, which continues, I'm very happy to say, and blessed and grateful that it continues to grow. So what to expect from me in my webinar? Okay, well, let me get to that slide first, and then I will tell you. So in my webinar, excuse my mumbling there, is, okay, the power of effective networking. It's understanding the concept and the benefits of joint ventures and collaborations. Very important in this world today. Collaborations are powerful. Techniques that can potentially maximize referral. And this is important, understanding the difference between a referral and a lead. There is a huge difference between that. A lead is cold calling. A referral is warm. And a referral carries a lot more weight with it in trust and credibility. So we will deal with that in the upcoming webinar. And establishing and nurturing professional long-term relationships. Again, at the risk of repeating myself, forgive me, I cannot help but continuously repeat that because my dear colleague who founded Explore Project, Peter and Estine, will tell you, and they really do subscribe to that. And I cannot again emphasize the importance of building long-term sustainable relationships. Your journey is not an event. That's why they call it a journey. It's not an overnight thing. Take time to build those relationships. Be selective in your networking, as I described, and for developing meaningful connections. And in my webinar, I will provide extra resources that you could, one or two that you can download. And so I look forward to presenting that to our webinar. And I'm going to leave you that when you network, the best thing that you can ever do in networking is just be you. Thank you, and I really appreciate you all attending and for giving me the opportunity to SAAA and Explore Project for talking about the importance of networking. I'm now going to hand you over to Manya. You've already met, but I do want to share something about her because Manya is amazing. Manya, I met in a networking event virtually. Manya and I have not met personally in person, and I look forward to the day that we're able to do that. But I learned so much from Manya, and actually had the privilege of seeing Manya grow from the day that I met her through networking to where she is now. Who has an incredible business, an amazing accountant, and actually just an amazing human being. So Manya, I really look forward to hearing your presentation now, and thank you, everybody. Ah,
Everyone, please.
yes, sorry,
just
Anya.
yes. Sorry, Stephen.
No problem.
Can everyone please just complete the survey for us, and then I'll just close out this session for us. I'm just going to give a few minutes for this to be completed.
Manya,
Yes, Mr. Levy.
while everybody's voting and sitting in silence,
We can entertain them.
yeah, not entertain them, but maybe you can share your experience of networking, because it was just, as I said, it was just amazing to see how you just grew and developed, not personally, professionally, and as I said, not even knowing you. But maybe you can share with the attendees that are here, because I think it's just a wonderful story, and don't hold back.
Okay, I'll try and wrap it up in a couple of minutes. Okay, yeah, so when I started my practice, yeah, it's very daunting starting a practice from scratch with no clients and stuff. And then I met Nestine. She was actually hosting an event on Accounting Academy. So I connected with her afterwards, and that's where everything started, basically. So then I joined a course there. They had a Fempreneur course, and they're also running one now. So I joined in there, and I went through this whole journey with everyone. And Explore Protect basically just started out in that time as well. So I've been part of this networking group since then. And that's where I met all of these amazing people that you just had the opportunity to meet as well. So from there, never before that, I believed that networking is really worth attending. I was not a firm believer of networking, but I must say, this has really changed my mindset a lot. So there's someone in that network that knows something about something that you don't know. And that's what's so valuable for me in this. I'm not a marketer myself. I don't like marketing my services. And like Mr. Levy said just now, people doesn't want to be sold to, but they want to buy. So how do you practically do that? And all these people along the way, they've got this experience and specialities, and they just share this knowledge with you, helping you to grow your business. And it's just amazing to see how everyone takes your hand and they grow you personally, not just you and your business, but both. And that was quite incredible. And it's just the ability to set aside time to help you with the question that you've got now. Because where else do you go? People doesn't want to really help you. I mean, Nestine is also a chartered accountant. So some people will see that as a threat, but now we've changed this. We'd rather work together than against each other. I think if you just can get to that point where you can work with other people instead of just trying to do things on your own, that's the power of getting into the networking event. So, but I think everyone should just look out for all the links in the upcoming newsletters and get that section that you thought today was going to help your business to grow. Whether it's Marlon's session, whether it's Mr. Levy's session, whether it's Somerville. But I think everyone's stuff is so interrelated with each other that you actually need to attend all of these sessions. That's the best that you will get out there. It's not even expensive attending these seminars, and you will gain much more than the value that you've paid for the seminar. So I really encourage everyone to go and subscribe, attend those, book them, and just put it into your calendar and attend the sessions. It's going to be worth it, I promise you. You're definitely going to get your money's worth. And then you've got access to all these people. Go and connect with them on LinkedIn. Follow them and see what they're posting, because they're really relevant and they understand everything in their space, because they're all experts and they've got the experience. So make use of that. You've got them as a contact now. So how are you going to grow your business from here? It really depends on yourself and what choices you're going to make to grow that. Okay, so while everyone is still voting, I'm just going to wrap up quickly. So a few highlights for me was basically on Megan's slides were attracting clients to yourself. So you want the clients to come to you. You don't want to go to them. You need to be consistent in doing that as well. And like Maureen said, go and read that book, the E-Myth book. I think then you will understand what niche you can market. You're going to use all these tools that everyone told you about, and you can practically execute them. Because if you don't know what your niche is, how are you going to market it? It's really important to understand that. And then, like Rona said, the buyer personas. How's the ideal client looking? You need to understand that customer of yours. And then the artificial intelligence, that's really something that tickles my mind. And I think all the accountants see that as a threat these days. But let's just rather see it as an opportunity and see how we can use that to streamline our workload, because it is quite strenuous to be in our sector. So, and then just the importance of the content that you use there. And then from Somerville, look at your profile on LinkedIn, because that's a reflection of you as a person and your business. People want to do business with professional people, and you want to be active in those channels. So you need to post in LinkedIn. That's the secret. It's consistency, active participation in those networks. You need to build the trust with the people. And then Hendrik, yeah, podcasting. It's something way different that we are used to. So get out of that comfort zone, start your own series. Maybe people would subscribe to all those podcasts instead of watching Friends. So it might get very popular. And then, like Summer said, look at your brand. What do you want to build? You need to build a brand that you can trust. People want to invest in something that they can trust. They want to build that relationship with you. And then Mr. Levy, yeah, he's an amazing coach, that I must just tell you. He's meant so much to me in the beginning when I started my business, and he's also just amazing. So please connect with him. So networking is key. And like he said, you don't want to sell. Just have coffee and discuss. The right clients will come to you. When you've got that trust relationship and your service offering is perfect, they will come to you. You don't have to go out there and look for them. They will come to you. I hope everyone enjoyed today's session, and they will be sharing all the upcoming events. I think it's starting from August and it's running till end of October. So subscribe to those, and we hope to see you there in the next couple of months and learn how you can attract those clients. Thank you, everyone.